Alright, we're here doing the video. I've been working up to releasing this video for the last 4 weeks, and I've been amongst this energy and brewing and behind the scenes actually putting together some sort of paperwork and something to share with you and help with you to move through what I have been through recently. So what is this video about? Is that I had a breach of privacy happen to me as a client going to another practitioner. There was video footage taken of my session without prior consent, and after the fact, 2 months later, so that the healing was 6th of November, 2 months later on the 21st of Jan, this video was leaked online to be used as marketing collateral for this practitioner's business. Highly illegal. Just saying. And we'll be getting into that in a little bit. Where did this happen? This happened in Taranaki, New Zealand, and it was with a local somatic energy healer. Why it's so important that I'm sharing this with you is that I'm wanting to bridge the grey area of spiritual holistic practitioners in regards to privacy in a digital age between client and healer, right? So who am I? If you don't know who I am, my name's hayley.benseman. I am an intuitive healer myself. I have my own clinic that I opened 2 years ago in Inglewood, Taranaki, and it's a thriving clinic in there. We've just brought in some new practitioners. I do body work and I do energy work, so myofascial release, like massage style. I do scar release, so C-sections, mastectomy scars, intuitive healings. I'm a drum healer. I do all the modalities, and we're in an age where this is quite common now, as we've got a lot of practitioners coming up, and you actually probably hear a lot more about somatic therapies. That seems to be a big thing. Releasing trauma out of the cells, emotion out of the cells. So I do a lot of that work myself. That's my bread and butter, as well as my skincare that I've been making for the last 14 years. So that's who I am, which makes this an interesting space to be in because, so my voice is getting a little bit, I'm actually quite unwell at the moment. It's an interesting space to be in because I'm a healer myself, so I know all the things that you need to be doing as a healer. So the integrity, looking after the person who's coming through the door, I do that every day. But I'm also in this scenario, the client going to the healer to receive the healing, to receive the somatic trauma release. For myself as a woman, I don't go there as the healer, I go there to receive. But it's interesting that this happened to me because I'm able to see very clearly how wrong this is and what's the client's, how do I say that? What rights do I, as the client, have in this moment as this woman who's been extremely hurt? And what rights did she actually have to do that, this practitioner? And oh my gosh, there's just so many, and it just kind of busted open this whole space in this holistic healing realm of there's just so much grey area. So what actually happened? Let's just start with that. Don't mind me, I've got a whole table in front of me of notes that I've prepared for this video. So I just want to make sure I get the right message out. I want to get the words out. So what happened was on the 6th of November last year, I went to a local healer and I received a somatic energy healing. So that is a physical release of trauma in the cells. It's a very vulnerable space to be in as a client, as we are whenever we go to a healer. We are in a space of vulnerability. It's this, we're handing over our body, mind and soul in that space to be held by somebody else. It's the whole point that we're going. So I went, and unfortunately this practitioner, without my prior consent, video recorded this session. There's going to be a lot of you in this moment that go, what? That is just like on so many levels wrong. And it is. I could take you to court. It's not right. There's a breach of privacy act. There's so many things that are wrong with that, let alone the fact that they're a practitioner and they're a healer. So I had a feeling something was happening in this session, but I'm in a space of trust. I'm trying not to be my own healer in that moment. So I'm trusting this person, right? Like whenever someone comes to me, they are trusting me 100% when they're on my table. And I take that so seriously. So I had a feeling something was wrong, but I didn't really move on it. And at the end of this session, when I went to go, they said, by the way, I video recorded your session. And wow, what do you say? You know, in that moment, you're like, that's highly wrong. I don't agree with it, which I did for the first time in my life as an adult. I stood up for myself. And a lot of us, we don't like confrontation. It's a really hard thing. And so in that moment, I said, I don't agree with that. Do not share that video. Do not share that video. I do not want that to be used. First of all, why? Why did you do it? Whether it was for your own learnings, it doesn't matter. But I knew in this instant it was going to be for marketing anyway. In regards to the type of healing that I had, it's very commonplace in social media that there's lots of videos being used as marketing for people on the table going through this type of healing. So I already knew that. And so I said, do not use this video. Then I got home. I was so furious, but you're in that point of trauma where you're like, I just don't know what to say. It's very hard to speak up to a practitioner. It's very hard to speak up to your parent. It's hard to speak up to your teacher, to your doctor, to somebody who you feel like is up here, to actually vocalize, I don't agree with that, and that was wrong, is really tricky for a lot of us. And I've done so much work on myself. So like I wanted to push myself to speak up, but in a lot of cases, a lot of people wouldn't have in this point of time. And it makes me wonder how many times has this happened before, right? Okay, so then I got home and I messaged, first of all, you should message the practitioner directly if you are unhappy with anything. And then you state clearly what I'm unhappy about. And in this case, she asked for forgiveness, obviously had this awareness that it wasn't right. Oh my God. And then I gave that. I was like, okay, I forgive you. I can move through that. I'm a loving, genuine person. Let's just leave it at that. So 2 months later, on the 21st of Jan, which was 4 weeks ago of yesterday, last night I was really sick. I was really unwell. Fevers all night. I'm still very sick in here, which is interesting for those body workers out there. You know how trauma gets stored in the cells. This is my body going, a month ago today, I had a traumatic experience. I went on Instagram, which I'm always on Instagram as a business, but not as a person, really. I'm not massive on social media. But it was just so crazy. I picked my phone up. The first thing that I should see is the video of my healing being shared on this person's social media platform with marketing collateral all over it. My vulnerable session that is being used to market their business. Unbelievable. I was just furious. So they took the video down. I mean, God help them if they didn't. And then I thought, okay, what's the next step here? Because obviously her line is way over here and my line is way over here. Her line is past the privacy policy, just saying the government. Then my line's here, but this happens quite a lot, right? People are using content for marketing to share their spiritual holistic practice. But where are you crossing the line? There's just so much gray area. So I messaged to say, look, God, take that down. I'm so angry. Now, at that point, I would have left it if she had been super apologetic, but she went so far as to make me feel like I was crazy. She tried to gaslight me. She tried to say that it was in the T's and C's. There was no written consent. There was no verbal consent. See, my throat's closing up now talking about it. It's horrific, really. And then she said, you should be more selfless, Hayley, to help me with my business. And in that moment, I thought, oh no, I'm not crazy. This is highly illegal. This is highly traumatic. If anything happened to my client and they came to me and they were upset, I would go out of my way to make sure that they felt safe, that they knew I was sorry. Whatever the circumstance was, I would make sure that their wellness, their mental, emotional wellness was safe in that moment. So to be shed on like that, thank you so much for being such an awful person in that moment, because I wouldn't be here if you hadn't. So that's been the driver to go, okay, this is not cool. And it made me look into the society as a whole, that there's this massive spiritual uprising. All of these old holistic practices that we've been doing since the dawn of time are coming back, and they're more socially acceptable. Amazing, thank goodness, because we need these. We need energy workers. We need, oh my God, I can't tell you enough how important it is that we have all of these practitioners out there. But there needs to be some sort of there needs to be some red tape in and around privacy, right? Okay, so this is why I'm here. This is what I want to talk about, because as I started thinking, it was interesting, because last year, even before this happened, I was thinking I really want to put a video together that really talks to people about how I'm seeing in the community energetic healers taking the piss, really, that they're using reviews that are private conversations and they're sharing them on social media as marketing, and it's shady and it's not good. And I know people don't know until they know. So here we go. We're going to talk about it. Okay. So that's what happened. Okay. So why I'm doing this today is that instead of putting all my energy to go out and prosecute somebody, I want to empower and change the system, right? I want to bring awareness to this. So this is like an empowering thing. This is a good thing. It's turning a shit situation into something good. And like a few people have said to me recently, they're like, you're staying in your light. And it's not easy, because I could become a victim in this moment and be so bitter and brewing about it. Or we could turn a shit situation into something where we make change, is why I'm doing it. Okay, what else have I written? And let's talk about what's okay, what's not okay. What are your rights as a client in this moment? So there's some of you who may have had a breach of privacy. What do you do, right? I want to talk about that. And I'm also seeing a gap in the industry of teaching. So there's a lack of knowledge for local healers, is that they haven't actually been given the knowledge. They're not under a big governing body, so they don't actually know these things. So their line is over there where it needs to be over here, right? It's because they don't know. They're not a bad person. We become healers because we want to help people. We want to be this loving support, but it can get skewed when we don't know legalities, right? Yeah, so, and I see too much grey area, and it's all tied in with social media marketing is what I'm talking about. Okay, so yeah, let's just start in with that. So what I'm seeing a lot of, and a lot of people have been telling me that they see this as well, is that let's just say I go to you for a healing. Maybe I go to you for reflexology or whatever. And then I get home and I feel so amazing from that session that I might send, because of social media, we've got business, Facebook messaging, right? So I might send you a voice note, because I do that more than I write. I'm like, oh my God, that session was so amazing. Thank you so much. I'm feeling so alive. Like, you are so awesome. That in that moment is still a private conversation between you as the healer and me as a client. I'm just telling you, or maybe you've emailed me. I had this recently. They emailed a couple of days later, how was your healing, Hayley, through an email? And I replied, I'm like, oh my God, so amazing. So imagine in those moments that this healer then screenshots that email, or they video record your voice message and then use that over some other video on social media for marketing. I had that happen. I sent a voice note through, and then that got put on top of a video of someone else going through a healing, and then business tagged, right? That in that moment, you are still the healer and you're still the client. These privacy laws still adhere. You do not have consent to use my voice message. You do not have consent to use my email. You do not have consent to use my text message or anything that I send you post a session, unless I specifically give you the okay that yes, you can use that as a review. But to be honest, like, I'm a healer and I have a brand name. I'm quite well known within the community. So when I go to a healer, I don't want people to know that I'm there, because I'm going for me as a woman, me as vulnerable Hayley. I don't want people to know that hayley.benseman skincare came to me for a session. Like, that's just like, it's crossing a line for me. Like, I might be on social media a lot of the time for my business, but as me, Hayley, as a private person, I'm not even on social media for myself. So for you to be using my material, my words, my video, anything about me in that context, and then tagging my business name in to get it, like, you know, scaffolding up for your business, is actually shit. That's shit, and that is not okay. That is not okay. I had to bring that in there because it's not that I'm sitting in a place of ego talking about my brand being used as scaffolding for another healer, but we see that a lot. We do see that a lot. We see people sharing reviews, and if this person has some sort of backing behind them, they're well known in the community, then they use that to push their business, but it's taking advantage of the client because they're coming to you as a person, not as their brand. So I needed to slip that in there. Okay, so what do you do if you're a client and you've somebody screenshot your text message and they shared it on Instagram stories? They didn't cross your name out. I've heard about this happening a lot. They didn't cross your name out, so then your words and your message has been shared on their marketing platform. What do you do? Okay, holy shit, you can do a lot. First of all, tell them to pull it down. You can... And actually, I just want to speak into for a second how hard it is. I mentioned it before about speaking up to a practitioner. Even I struggled with that, and I'm a strong woman. I'm a healer myself. To be able to stand, it's like standing up to your parents. It's like standing up to a doctor, you know, and you can go to a doctor and you can leave there feeling shitter than when you went in because they may have spoken to you in a bad way, they didn't understand you. So it's not like this is a spiritual holistic practitioner thing. This is an all over. How do you speak? How do you stand up for your own rights? It's actually really hard, and again, a lot of us don't like confrontation. But you can go to community law. So community law is local and it's free. You can go onto their website. So it's communitylaw.org.nz. So I suggest that you check that out. And they can talk to you from human to human. You might not, you know, if you don't have any finances to go to a lawyer, that they can help you. So community law is where you could go and go, look, this has happened. We're not all lawyers, so we don't know all the legislation as clients. They can tell you. They can tell you. It's going to have some water. Okay. You can go to the Privacy Commission as well. And I'm going to read their recommendations of what you do in this situation. Okay, so the Privacy Commission says before you complain to them, you need to contact the person directly and ask for an apology, which I did. You can ask for a guarantee that this is not going to happen again, and you can even ask for financial compensation. And if they agree with that and you're happy with that to and fro, then you can leave it there if you want. Or in this situation, I didn't get looked after, I could then go to the Privacy Commission and get there. I can take it further, but they like you to take those steps first. And they've said here on their website, all organisations that hold personal information must have a privacy policy and have a privacy officer. And not a lot of you know that. So if you are a health professional, and even if you have a governing body or you don't have a governing body, if you're taking in and collecting health notes like I do, or you're taking in private information of people, you need to be storing that in a facility where that's not accessible for anybody to read those health notes. And then you need to have a privacy policy and a privacy officer. In my case, that'll just be me, right? So if you go online, if you Google Southern Cross privacy policy, there's a template. Well, it's not a template, it's just an example of what they've put together. I thought that was quite cool. And the privacy officer is you the healer, to go, I know what the privacy laws are and I'm going to adhere to them as a healer. It's really important. So Privacy Commission, that's a cool website as well. And then if all fails, you go to the disputes tribunal and you go to court, because you can. They are your rights. They are your rights. We think that these things, just will get swept under the rug. You actually have rights and you can stand up for yourself. And I'm here to say that you should be. And we need to see some change in the industry, because it's just not cool. It's taking the piss. Okay. All right. Which, yes, I was just starting to talk about. Talking about the lack of knowledge provided for the healer outside of a governing body. Okay, so that would be me. I've done numerous modalities, but I'm not a doctor, I'm not a physio, I don't have this overarching governing body with massive red tape over years that's been organised. And there's a lot of us out here at the moment who don't have that. And we don't know what we don't know, okay? So I'm not wanting to bring Reiki under as like this energy of like stinkiness, but like I just want to bring a Reiki practitioner in, which I am. I'm a Reiki master, a beautiful modality. There's numerous scientific papers put out to prove that it's an amazing. There's over 30 peer-reviewed scientific papers on Reiki and how amazing it is. So everybody should be getting Reiki. It's so good. But I'm going to bring that as an example, because this is where I see there's some grey area in the lack of knowledge department. Is that when you get to level 2 Reiki, you are then able to go out and be a practitioner. So you do Reiki 1, Reiki 2, you can go out and be a practitioner and hold space for clients. Unfortunately, you're not sent out with all the information about all of this. You don't know anything. There's no information in your booklets. Your teacher doesn't teach you anything about privacy policies or anything like that, unless you go and join up with Reiki New Zealand, which I highly recommend if you're a Reiki practitioner and you're like, holy shit, I don't know anything about this. I didn't know I had to have a privacy policy because I was writing client notes, so I needed to be the privacy officer and like a locked cabinet for these things. I didn't know that there was these codes of ethics, and I didn't know that there was, all of this stuff, because it's not your fault. You haven't been taught, and I'm here to say that you need to go and do your due diligence and check this out for yourself. So if you go onto the Reiki website, it's Reiki New Zealand, and you can join up. These guys can be your governing buddy and body. They have a code of ethics. Right? Code of Ethics 2, the confidentiality of the client and diagnostic findings acquired during consultation or in the course of professional treatment shall not be divulged to anyone without the client's consent, except where required by law, or where failure to take action would constitute a menace or danger to the client or another member of the community. So I go to you as a Reiki practitioner, and by law, anything I say and do in there is private. Without consent, you can't share any of that, let alone a video of my session, right? Code of Ethics. As a Reiki practitioner, it's out there. Go on the website. They have rules of practice. Rules of practice. Practitioners shall be familiar with the current laws relating to the practice of natural health therapies in New Zealand. Reiki practitioners shall ascertain and abide by local bylaws. So you need to know the laws, you need to know the legislation as a healer. Even if you're just Reiki 2, you've still got clients, you've still got people like me coming to you in such a vulnerable state. I'm coming to you trusting that you know all of this. Please scrub up on your information. I really, really love the Reiki website. And if you go in, they even have laws that affect a Reiki practitioner. You have the Privacy Act 2020. You have Health and Safety at Work 2015. You have the COVID-19 Public Health Response Act 2020. You have the Fair Trading Act 1986, and there's other legislation. So if you don't know any of this, go check it out. It's all on the Reiki New Zealand website. Empower yourself with knowledge so that you are holding your client in safe hands. Okay. And I want to, in talking about that, I would really like to invite Reiki master teachers who are teaching Reiki to students this isn't anywhere, it has never been done, but we cannot teach a modality like they did hundreds of years ago in an age where we have so much digital marketing and online sharing. We have to evolve our teaching method. So I really want, if you're watching this and you're a Reiki master teacher or any holistic teacher or practitioner teacher, and you are teaching like a 2-day course or something that's not under a governing body, don't trust that the students have a governing body. In that moment, you need to prepare them if you're sending them out to have clients with the information. So I'd love to see you guys add in your booklets something with a code of ethics, something, even these printouts, rules of practice, codes of ethics. Empower your students with information and links so that they can go out there and be the safest practitioner, okay? And that they know the rules. I have not seen this in any Reiki teacher booklet. I haven't seen it thus far. So I think it's really important that we start changing the way we're working. We start evolving with the times, okay? Really important. Just an information. I'm not going at people. I'm not trying to take anyone down and make you feel shit about what you're not doing. I want to empower you to do better. Let's scrub up, man. Let's just try and do better. In saying that, I've been a really busy beaver behind the scenes. I've actually put together a PDF. Because it's one thing to come on here and go, oh my God, this happened. I want to empower you. And so I've had a copywriter put together a PDF where you can scrub up. There's links here. And it is our pledge to work with you in confidence. So this is a pledge between you and your clients. You can put your business name up here. This is a free download. And then you can put here, if we're going to collect reviews, where should we be collecting it? And this is a public agreed platform. So this is my pledge to you as Hayley.benseman, intuitive healer body worker, that your privacy is so important to me. I'm not going to share anything without your consent. If you do want to leave me a review, that's really helpful for me as a business. This is where you leave it. This is a public platform that we've both agreed on. I have your consent. You don't have to have your name on it. You don't have to leave a review at all. There's no pressure. But if you do, that's where you can put it. If you are a client, here are laws that protect you. If you are a healer, you need to know this shit. Read it. And then put this up in your clinic. This is what I'm wanting. So I've actually had the same copywriter. I sent her 20 minutes of voice notes after what I went through, and I asked her to put together a blog for me so that I could put that on my website so people can read what actually is happening in the industry at the moment. And then there's a link that you can click on here that hasn't got my logo on it. There's a link where you can download this for free. And then you can scrub up and you can put this up in your healing room. I won't be your governing body, but this is just to show the client that actually you're taking their privacy seriously and that you know the legislation. So that's my gift to you. That's my gift to you completely. And what I'm hoping is that you go and read the blog. I'll put the link underneath here so that you can go in and download this. And what I'm hoping is to start a little bit of a movement, right? This is what all this energy has been about. I would love for you as a practitioner, if you're like, yes, this is awesome. We need to see more of this. This is really important. My clients mean so much to me. I would love for you to print this out, read all the information online, put your business, and take a photo of you holding this for a hashtag #US2 movement. You can put this on your, you can share it to me directly. You can put this on your Facebook, your Instagram, your email marketing, to share that this is a thing that's happening in the industry and I take it seriously. I would love that. I would love that so much. So that's my gift to you. I really hope that you go and read the blog. Okay, so in terms of wanting to enlighten you about where do you go for this information, there are some links on here, but there's some that isn't. So the Reiki New Zealand, that's not on there. So Reiki New Zealand, go check that website out. Another really good one is the Natural Health Practitioner New Zealand. Natural Health Practitioner New Zealand has a code of ethics, and this is a cool little 2-page one that you can print it off and you can put it in your clinic as well. Naturopaths and Medical Herbalists of New Zealand. So this one here is a little bit more in depth, a code of professional conduct. That's actually, the link is on my template. I would, if you put that in your clinic, make sure you've read this from top to bottom. There's a few pages here. Your code of conduct, right? If you don't have a governing body that's giving you this, go by this. This is really, really good. Check out Legal Vision, legalvision.co.nz, and they have, they're about the Advertising Standards Authority. So advertising standard code, what you need to abide by when you are sharing stuff on social media. It says here, only post publicly available information or information gathered with consent. You need consent. You can't just share stuff all over social media to market yourself. You need consent. Okay, and then I wanted to talk about, if you are a health professional, right, governing body or no governing body, you need public liability insurance. You need public liability insurance. You do if you are having clients come into your clinic, into your home, into your garage, into your garden. What happens if they get hurt or something goes wrong? So you can actually get that with, it actually looked quite a good price with Reiki New Zealand. You can get that with Reiki New Zealand. They do public liability insurance. And actually I saw the Natural Health Practitioners New Zealand, they do, they have this huge list of all these beautiful holistic practitioners. You can get insurance with them at quite a good price, I think, for your healing practice. And I am with the New Zealand Beauty Association. So I got put onto them by HTL, they're my other insurance broker for my skincare and my business. New Zealand Beauty Association. So I got my public liability with them. Comprehensive public liability insurance is really important. Okay, and a current first aid certificate. So if you've got your own clinic, or if you've got, let's just say there's one or more practitioners there, or even just yourself, what happens if somebody's on your table and something goes wrong and you don't have your current first aid certificate? That's really important that you have that, and you probably won't be able to get insurance without it as well. You can check out the New Zealand Health Standards for health records as well. There's a thing, a legal thing, how you collect health records, how you store it, and all that kind of stuff. So at this moment you're like, there's just so much boring legal talk. But the thing is, right, like, we need to know our rights as a client, and we need to know how to be holding space professionally within our holistic businesses. It's really important. I just want to read the Health and Disability Services Consumers' Rights. So this is a thing, right? I liked it because I got shared on by a few of these by this practitioner. Your right as a client, number one, treated with respect. You should be treated with respect by your practitioner. Right number two, freedom from discrimination, coercion, or harassment. Your practitioner cannot do any of that. Do not let them cross any of that line. and exploitation. So I got exploited with my video being leaked without my consent. So my right number 2, she didn't do it. I didn't get it. Number 3, treated to dignity and independence. Number 4, services of an appropriate standard. So do your mahi and do a fucking good job. Don't do a half-ass healing treatment, right? Number 5, you need to have effective communication. I did not get that effective communication, so there's another one of my rights. I was not fully informed, right, number 6. So you should be fully informed. And in fact, I was just talking to a counsellor a couple of days ago, and she's a mainstream counsellor. She's actually seen a client who went and had a traumatic experience with a healer because she was not fully informed of what was going to happen. And so now she won't go back to another healer. Isn't that sad? Isn't that so heartbreakingly sad that this one healer just shed it for the rest of us? For this person, you know? Fully informed is your right as a client. You have the right to make an informed choice and give informed consent. That's another one of those that I didn't get. And you have the right to have support if you want support. You have the right respect of teaching or research, and you have the right to complain. So, you know, you have rights. I think it's just really important to really push that, because I'm wanting to come here and I'm wanting to enlighten all the healers and practitioners, but I am still the client in this scenario. So I want to make sure you guys, I'm speaking to you as a person going to a healer. You have rights. I have rights. It's just so important. Okay. I think I've gone through everything. No wonder why I'm sick. This is so important that I just vocalize this to you guys in a way that is correct, that you get how important this is. Okay. So I just want to wrap up by saying how important integrity is, how important your safety is. You know, when we have trauma, which a lot of us do, a lot of my clients come to me and they have massive trauma from different experiences in their life. It could be emotional trauma, could be mental trauma, it could be physical trauma. You know, like when we have this trauma, it needs to be treated with respect. You need to feel safe, you need to feel loved, and your practitioner needs to have a good amount of integrity and know what they're doing. It's just so key that we remember that when we're looking for someone, we are really looking for that practitioner who's going to hold us in a safe way. Also, this is another important thing I want to talk about, is the respect between practitioners. So actually I think it's in the Naturopaths and Medical Herbalists Code of Professional Conduct. If you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, if you're a physio or osteo, you'll have this kind of legislation to tell you that you need to be respectful to other practitioners. And it's interesting that within the spiritual community, I don't see that standard. And that's why I'm passionate about, I've actually got my own Facebook group where I have a lot of healers in this group. It's only small, it's about 300 people. And I know that I'm so respectful to them and they're so respectful, and we're wanting to hold and pull each other up as a community. Like, gone were the times as women that we're tearing each other down. Gone is of the times of practitioners of healing that we are wanting to take each other's clients, this nitpicky crap bullshit. We need to be professional. And I have people say that to me, Hayley, you're so professional. And I'm like, but shouldn't we all be? You know, isn't that a basic right for our clients, is that professionalism? So do better. Just invite you, do better. Scrub up on your knowledge. Be respectful of yourself, be respectful of your clients, and be respectful of other practitioners. I really would love you to like, comment, and share this video. I know we're nearly 40 minutes now. I only thought I was going to do 20 minutes, but I should have known. I would have had a lot to say, really. I'm I would love for you to actually comment on this. I would love for you to actually share this, maybe tag in some people who you think this could be really cool for them to read. We're not coming here to take anyone down. We're not coming here to make anyone feel shit. I know that when I speak, it comes with strength, so that you might get triggered to go, oh, Hayley's at me. I just want the best for you. I want the best for, well, I'm getting emotional with those words. I want the best for you as a practitioner, and I want the best for you as a client, because you deserve that in your healing journey. And that's my integrity. That's my integrity. So let's empower change. Let's share this message. Even if you don't do anything on this video, I'm totally, sorry, I just got some message. Even if you don't do anything on this video, I know this has struck a chord with some of you. Go have conversations with the other practitioners in your clinic. Go have conversations with other healers that you're working with. Go have some conversations with clients. I feel like there could be a trickle effect from this where we're actually going to see some change. And my final words are that no one can take your power, okay? Let's just that gives me tingles. No one can take your power. She's not taken my power, because I won't let her take it. This is my power. I can stand in my power. I can speak in my power. I can be embodied in this power as a woman, as a healer in 2024, because I won't let anyone take my power away from me. And I think that's a really cool message to finish on, because that embodies all of this. It embodies all of this. I love you all so much. Please go and read my blog. Please print this out. #us2movement. I appreciate you all.